All of you know that I have a huge fascination for Mars. I've been posting and featuring authors, research investigators, and scientists for over a decade. And I am always on the lookout for new researchers, new imagers who are capturing the surface of the planet of Mars and presenting them as professionally as possible. My guest today is Gene Ward, and today's program is titled The Ruins of Mars, because not only do we have evidence of a horrific, catastrophic event that happened there, but we are continually gathering and getting a chance to see what's on the surface. And I've been trying to get a hold of Gene Ward for probably, I want to think, 2 years. And for some reason, it wasn't happening until recently when he was featured on a series. I think it's called Red Planet Green.
Blue Planet Red.
Blue Planet Red. Thank you for
Yes.
refreshing my memory, Gene. But anyhow, we're going to spend an hour with Gene to get a sense of just what he's been capturing and his interest in the planet Mars. So, hey, Gene, welcome to Earth Ancients. Great to have you on the program.
Thanks. Thanks, Cliff. Delighted to be here. And yeah, let's get cracking on. I'm ready for this.
You know, I want to mention before we start that you have been featured on the History Channel, but also you were on Bill Shatner's Unexplained. Was it a couple of times with some of your work, or just one time?
It was just the one time, but George Haas from the Sardinia Institute stood in for me and presented this huge pyramid that we'll be having a look at in a moment as well. So yes, and some of my other anomalies are featured on the proofies out there, also on the History Channel.
Yeah.
But
I want to mention also, yeah, I want to mention also that you're a techie, and let's go over your background a little bit. Your background and by the way, those of you listening, Gene is in South Africa. What city are you located in?
The capital city, Pretoria.
Pretoria. Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so your background, you have done 11 years of lab research and project development. Talk a little bit about your background. What kind of education do you have?
Yes. So after I matriculated, we call it after we matriculate, it's grade 12 in South Africa. Went to like a college, it's called a Technikon. It's an engineering institution where you get diplomas and degrees in whichever technical field you're studying. And I studied electronics and mathematics. I got my diploma through the Technikon in Pretoria, South Africa. Went over to telecoms at the time, which was posts and telecommunications, and to the laboratory where I did research and development in telecommunications technology, as well as certification testing of new telecommunications equipment. So typically, when something new arrives in the country, like a new PBX or a new telephone or a new facsimile machine like we had in the old days, I would take the specification and then I'd test this device to make sure it complies to South African standards. Mm-hmm. So that's my background at the laboratories. Then after that, I joined an ISP, an internet service provider, as a creative director, because I taught myself, while I was at the laboratories, to code HTML. I taught myself graphic design. So I was basically headhunted to work for this ISP and head up the graphic design department.
You should also mention that you also did web development. You were a web developer, which is
That's right. I was actually Look, when the Department of Posts and Telecommunications became a non-government organization, the name changed to Telkom South Africa.
Hmm.
And I was Telkom South Africa's webmaster at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, I joined Telkom. I left the ISP, joined Telkom in a marketing section where I was involved in a lot of marketing. Then I studied a degree in e-commerce at the University of South Africa. And after that, I also qualified as IT project manager. So I did that for about 16 years, IT project management. And then for the past 10, 12 years, I've been back at Telkom still doing graphic design and web development once again.
Okay. So you're a graphic designer. So
Yeah,
the
I
other
taught
thing we should
myself,
mention
basically,
is
yes.
I want you to mention before we get going here that you also are processing satellite imagery and you need to use special software to do this. This is what a lot of people don't understand is that this software comes in huge, huge files and you need to be able to process it and zero down into certain areas. Let's also mention, Gene, this is one that I was just thinking about. It takes hours and hours to go through these files. Talk about that.
Yes, typically I focus mostly on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and photographs taken by the high-rise camera, which is the high-resolution camera. It's like half a meter in diameter lens, so it's huge. This thing zooms in to the surface and you can see objects at 25 centimeters per pixel resolution. So a bottle or ball will show up. It will resolve in these huge photographs that the high-rise takes. And these photographs, they call JP2s or JPEG 2000 photographs. And they're typically close to 1 or 2 gigabytes
They're
in size.
huge.
So
Yeah.
you can't download these photographs and open them in Photoshop. You need a special image viewer like HiView, which you can download from the NASA site as well. And it's a tool that allows you to open these huge JP2 photographs and zoom into actual size 1:1 scale in this photograph. So
Right.
you're only seeing a very small part of it at a time on the screen. And then you've got to scroll through this thing up and down, left and right, up and down until you've covered the whole photograph in strips. And as you go along, when you see an anomaly, you save that image.
Yeah.
And then once you've got all these images with all these anomalies saved, you open them in an image upscaling package. Like I use Gigapixel,
Hmm.
developed by Topaz Labs, based in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually downloaded Gigapixel when it was still the company was still finding its feet. So I was a found tester of the software, you could
Oh,
say.
really?
Yes, so the technology was very new at the time because you got various image upscalers that you could download for free and you can use these online image upscalers, but they use weird AI and then it produces really odd artifacts when you upscale these images. So Gigapixel is groundbreaking and it's very expensive.
What year was
That's
it that you
why
were
Mars
doing beta?
researchers
What,
don't use
what, what,
Gigapixel because it's too expensive.
yeah, what year were you doing beta testing for them?
Well, not beta testing, but I was part of the founder group of customers.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that. It was only until a week ago when Topaz Laboratories upgraded their software that I got an email from them saying, listen, as a founder, I don't know what that means, a founder,
Yeah.
you qualify for this massive discount on
Well,
this
that's always
upgraded
good.
software.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was quite flattered.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about this is that NASA also uses it. So every time NASA upscales one of their photographs using Gigapixel, the model learns from it.
Yeah.
So consequently, you can infer that if you use Gigapixel to upscale your images of Mars, then it's going to reference the model that NASA's been using all this time as well to upscale their images. So
Yeah.
you can have sort of a level of confidence to know that hopefully it's upscaling accurately.
Right.
But what I do is I always compare it to the original. So I'll use a conventional magnifier or image magnifier
Hmm.
on an object, and then I'll put it next to the upscaled image that was done in gigapixel, and then I'll compare it
Yeah.
to make sure the outlines, the shape, the highlights, and the shadows, and the surrounding objects align.
Yeah.
So what gigapixel does is it upscales preserving edges of objects, whereas a conventional magnifier on a computer will produce these really blurry images. So that's the difference. The detail is the same. It's just much brighter, sharper, and well-defined in gigapixel.
And your images are excellent, by the way. So I want to thank you.
Thanks,
Let's,
thank you. It's taken me a while to figure out all the settings and parameters in the software. Because
yeah.
if you overcompensate, it looks really strange. These objects don't look right.
Right.
So you got to practice a lot. You got to compare a lot
Right.
and
We
feel
should
confident.
mention I
Yes,
I
better.
found Gene YouTube. His just go to Gene Ward, Ward, and he
Jeanward.
yeah, Gene Ward. His YouTube channel is excellent, and this is where most of his work is located, and it's
Mm.
excellent. He posts. It seems like he posts fairly regularly. Let's talk about
Yes,
your
every second or
influences. Yeah, let's talk about your influences, Gene. Why would you bother with Mars? Talk about the hacker Gary McInton. No, McKinnon.
yeah,
Uh,
Gary McKinnon.
Talk about
Yes.
his hacking the NASA servers and what he discovered.
Yes, yes. What he did was, this was way back in the days when we had those strange dial-up modems. Remember the funny noises and squeaky sounds that these things used to make? I actually
Yeah,
missed
really.
those. So he dialed up and he was able to enter the NASA network. He just typed random usernames and passwords that people would use,
Yeah,
and someone chose a username and password that was easy to guess.
yeah,
So he never really hacked the system. He gained entry using a working username and password. He just
right.
guessed until he got it right, according to him. So he got to a file server and they noticed, I think it was extraterrestrial officers, meaning off-planet officers.
Right.
And he clicked on the folder, and in it were photographs. And he was going through these photographs, and he got to one of a long cylindrical object with these sort of domes on them at the one end. And he started downloading this photograph, and he got about 3/4 of the way through when one of the system administrators realized someone had gained access from an IP address that they didn't recognize. And he reckons they stopped his connection right there, and he wasn't able to download the full photograph.
Ah,
But he downloaded a spreadsheet of off-world officers, and the craft that they were serving on was the Helicopter, if I recall correctly. I can't remember the other names, but they popular generals in the US Army. You know, like the aircraft carriers get these special names as well. These craft in space had these strange names too, and a whole list of generals and admirals. And then I started going into researching the secret space program, the SSP, and in particular Solar Warden. I don't know if you've heard of that yet. Solar Warden is this human presence in the solar system, guarding the fringes of the solar system, making sure that, enemies don't come into our solar system from that point.
are you
That's what
saying that there is a department in the military known as SSP? And
the
if
secret
that's,
space program. Well, the conspiracy theorists believe that that's true, and various whistleblowers have come forward and they've actually testified about this too. So whether it's true or not, yeah, we don't know. But that then led me down the rabbit hole. I was watching these SSP videos on YouTube, and then Mars Anomalies videos started being recommended on my YouTube recommended videos. And I started watching these videos about all these strange anomalies that were being found on Mars. And I thought to myself, but wait, I can do this myself. And I started checking. And I was verifying the anomalies these people were finding. And then I started doing my own research. And then Pandora's box was opened. And I've
Okay.
been doing that ever since. So
So
it all started with Gary McKinnon.
it's amazing. Real quickly, you
Oh,
also mentioned Dr. John Brandenburg, and you don't mention Dr. Mark Carlotto, but I think
no.
he's not somebody. But Brandenburg's, I've had John on the show a number of times,
Yes,
and
yes.
his theory is that there was
Oops, sorry,
perhaps a
my
number of
microphone.
civilizations on the planet Mars. But rather
That's right.
than 1 million years ago, he says 100 million years ago, which is just an insane number of years. What do you
Mhm.
say to that?
Well, yeah, it could be. It could very well be. But I would go out on a limb and say that the civilization, according to my opinion, that was on Mars at the time, a megalithic civilization was destroyed 20,000 years ago.
On Mars?
Yes.
Now, how do you how do
As
you how do you come up with that number?
if you look at yeah, many researchers, including myself, believe it was about 10 to 20,000 years ago. Because if you look at the time that things were destroyed here on Earth, it was about 10,000 years ago
Yeah,
that there was this
9500
major,
BC was the
that's
catastrophic younger
where,
days.
Cliff? How long ago? 10, ten
The
thousand.
the last catastrophic event was 9500 BC, which is 12,000 years ago.
Yes, around about that scale, yes. If you look at the destruction of these megaliths and these megalithic structures here on Earth, way back then to about 12,000 BC, and you compare it to what these structures look like on Mars, they compare very favorably. And I believe there are researchers that theorize that there was a solar-wide event 12,000 years ago that affected most of the planets in the solar system. So it could be, I'm hypothesizing that it's about 10 to 20,000 years ago.
Okay, so
So that's my opinion.
this is new, Gene, because I didn't know that you had this belief. Are you saying that when Earth went through the Turid meteor stream, which is what caused the catastrophe 12,000 years ago, that Mars also went through the same asteroid field, or are you talking about something else that destroyed the planet? What was your belief? What's your hypothesis of what would be the damage? What caused?
Well, there's various theories. There's the electric universe, thunderbolts, theory that electric plasma, scorched certain areas on Mars. That's that long canyon, Valles Marineris, and the telltale signs of these hexagonal depressions in the surface of Mars. And that's characteristic of a plasma discharge. That's what the Thunderbolts project proposes. Then Dr. John Brandenburg proposes there was a massive weapons grade nuclear explosion on Mars.
Right.
In the Sardinia region, the shockwave went around the planet and it produced another hotspot on the opposite side. Or it could have been two huge explosions. There's that theory. Then there's the theory of meteorites
Right.
striking the planet. And then there's the other one of the exploded planet theory, where they proposed that Mars was a moon of a larger planet. And the planet, for some other reason, was destroyed. And Mars was flung out and it tilted on its orbit by 90 degrees. And the meteor, and the fallout is that the meteors, what do they call it? The band of meteors between Mars and Jupiter, the
Oh, the
asteroid belt.
asteroid belt. Yeah.
Yeah, they reckon it might be that planet.
Right.
Its remains. Yeah.
Right.
So there's four possibilities, and then I've seen personally areas in I think it's Cerberus Palace where scientists reckon there was a massive flood. There's these plains where you can see there was this massive flood. That's what
Right.
they speculate. So it could be all five, one of each, maybe a couple of those.
Yeah.
So Mars suffered multiple catastrophes
Amazing.
in its
Yeah.
history.
One thing we should
So
mention, Gene, is that what we see on Mars are megalithic builders on a massive scale.
correct,
And
yes.
it's hard to tell if it's that they just were much more adept at using the Earth to build, or if it's because of the gravity being less than Earth that they are able to erect such huge monstrosities that we see today. What do you feel?
Yes, I think it's because Mars is slightly smaller than Earth, and its gravity, I think it's zero point 0.6 of that of Earth's, round about that area. So yes, I think that they could have built bigger structures, and the megaliths, the megalithic blocks that I find all over Mars are also huge. They measure between 5 to about 18 meters in length. But then again, you do get that huge megalithic block in where is it? It's called, what's it now, man? Babylon? The pregnant, stone of the pregnant woman?
Oh, yeah.
Megalith?
That's in Lebanon.
Yes, Lebanon, that's right. And
Yeah.
that thing's also huge.
Yeah.
They compare to that.
Yeah.
The
Massive.
structures, the megalithic structures, the pyramids on Mars, massive, 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
And those, yeah, on Earth easily.
Yeah. Massive. Gene,
We'll have a look at those.
before we start your, you call these are the top discoveries that you're made. You literally have hundreds of hours of imagery that you've posted, which is what makes you so unique. But
Thanks.
we're going to choose the top discoveries. Before we start, Gene, why do you think NASA is reluctant to show this to the general public? Why is it that we have to have guys like you to discover image specialists like you to reveal these anomalies rather than NASA just saying, hey, we found the ruins of an ancient civilization and we want you to know about it?
Yeah. Okay, so what's nice about it is NASA publishes these photographs and makes it available to the public to download and view. But what they won't do is say that they found an anomaly in the photograph. They'd rather say there's a geological feature. They talk about geology and that sort of thing. But they leave it up to independent people, I think, because they don't want to go down that hole. But they've already dug themselves a hole, in my opinion, by avoiding to talk about this, because the
Yeah.
evidence is mounting on them under a lot of pressure. But yeah, I think it's because of the findings of the Brookings Institute report that was written in 59, I think it was, or 60.
1960.
That,
So
yeah, the
you're
findings.
referencing that document, which basically says, and I talk about it all the time here on the
Mm,
program, that our if the human population on Earth realizes that we're not the only ones in our universe, in our cosmos, that they will lose their minds, commit suicide, society will stop, religions will
mm.
cease, and our planet will be rendered useless.
Yes, basically, yeah, that's what they
But
say.
that's 1960.
I know, we're so ready for disclosure right now. But there's another reason, I think, that they're not doing it. It's because they don't want to lose funding. Because their whole premise is that on this major discovery of new geology, they're searching for signs of life on Mars, etc., etc. So if they disclose that they found life or traces of an fossilized life on Mars, or that they found these megalithic structures, all of a sudden their narrative disappears and the funding potentially. So that's maybe one of the other reasons. And then thirdly, we've got these mainstream scientists working for NASA and the ESA, we shouldn't rule them out, that get grant money and then through universities where they conduct their research and they write their papers.
Yeah.
So they might be afraid of losing grants. I'm not
It's a
saying
sad
that's the
statement
case.
for of our society, though, Gene. It's a very sad statement because I, unless you're afraid of the world, afraid of life, afraid of things that are not disclosed, I think the majority of people would welcome the information
Yeah.
on a new civilization.
Well, if you just look at how many followers there are of these Mars researchers on X, on YouTube, on
Yeah,
Facebook, I'd say the majority of people are ready for this. I mean, we've been so programmed through science fiction movies from Hollywood, etc., that this wouldn't be a shock to us. I mean, we've
yeah,
been desensitized.
yeah. I think that NASA is a little antiquated, a little backwards because they're using theologists, rabbis, priests, and pastors and asking them. And they recently did this again. They asked a group of theologians what they thought the reaction would be, and they were like, "Oh, our flock, our congregation would lose it." Well, that those are the wrong people to ask. That's not the majority of Americans or the United States or worldwide audience. I don't you think that the majority of people are looking at their social media and going, "Tell me more. I want more. I'm hungry for more."
That's true, they do. But then there's another problem. I mean, people have got families, they've got responsibilities. So there's a big bunch of people out there that aren't even aware of this topic. But those that are aware are hungry for more.
Exactly.
But I just want to go back to our previous point, if you don't mind, Cliff. Also, I think, look, NASA realizes maybe that they've dug this hole for themselves. They won't disclose, so they allow us to do it because of the potential of plausible deniability. That's the other option that we
Yeah.
can consider.
Before we start our we're going to be going through Gene Ward's top discoveries here. We're going to go through quickly. I want you, those of you listening, to hear what I have to say. If you do not want to watch this on our YouTube channel, I will have Gene's top discoveries. It'll be a single image on the Facebook page, and these are I'm going to say 20 of Gene's top images, and we have a special surprise at the end that we're going to present. So if you want to see this, go to YouTube. If you don't bother, if you don't want to see it on YouTube, you can see it on the Facebook page, both the international, the group, or the public page. So there you go. Gene, let's start with your first image, which is the Raptor Zone complex. It's Elysium, and it is a fabulous pyramid. It's a pyramid of huge, huge dimensions. Talk about it. Perfect.
Right, Cliff. So I've prepared this slide pack and we'll go through the top anomalies. So this is the one of that huge pyramid in Elysium Planitia. And it's called the Pyramid of the Raptor Zone complex because of this strange anomaly to the top that looks like the head and beak of a raptor. So George Haas of the Sardinia Institute, when he contacted me and wrote a paper about this, he called it the Raptor Zone Pyramid Complex. Let's go in on that pyramid and there's a closer look. So each side at the base is between 3.5 to 2.5 kilometers in length. So you can make out the four sides. There's neat geometry in this. The flat top, and then the strange ramp-like part in the center of the one side. And it's very similar to I think this is the Pyramid of the Moon in Teotihuacan. We've got
Okay.
that strange ramp-like part here on the bottom. So this, in my opinion, was covered. It was underwater for an extended period of time. It collected a lot of sediment. It's covered in this sedimentary material or like sand. And then the water drained away, and then you can see it stood in like a swamp for a very long time. Look at that base. There's a lot of erosion around the base.
How do we know it was underwater, Gene?
I speculated is because if you look at these these strange, what do you call these?
Sedimental resting areas.
Yeah, it looks like sediment. If you look at
Sediment.
underwater
So the
structures and
sediment
things.
dropped down and laid on top of the pyramid. You know, it's funny
Yes,
you
that's why
mentioned
you
that
can't
because,
make out details. You can't make out details. It's covered in sand.
well, I'm wondering if it's water. This is something I haven't thought about before, or if the pyramid is 1 million years old, this is just natural erosion. But
Yes, that is possible, entirely possible too.
yeah,
But
I'm just
I wouldn't say it's very tall. I wouldn't say this is a very tall structure.
okay.
It's
I mean,
just humongous.
the moon pyramid at Teotihuacan is approximately 220 plus feet tall. So if this isn't, you know, it's so funny that you brought that up, the fact that if it was underwater, that would
Mm.
cause it to be covered in sediment. That's why we don't see the details. That's amazing. That's I didn't never thought about that. So
Very speculative because, yeah, I thought after I saw the erosion around the base, this thing was standing in water for long, like in a swamp.
okay.
And it's funny, the pyramids in Egypt also very near to water, and there's a water basin just underneath them. So these pyramids are also in a very watery area of Mars by the looks of it.
Wow.
Okay, that's just pure speculation. I just thought about that now.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
Next one, next number two is
yeah, this is a potential step pyramid.
yeah.
There's multiple layers here.
Mm.
Check that out. And then these rows and rows of megalithic blocks. Each of these blocks is about 5 by 5 meters in size. And the
Wow.
whole structure is about 200 meters long by 100 meters wide. And this is in Western Arabia Terra,
Are
Mars.
these high-rise images?
Yes.
Okay, these are all NASA high-rise satellite.
Yes. So these are photographs taken at typically 25 centimeters per pixel resolution.
Okay.
Right, then there's these three pyramids that
Oh,
are strangely enough also arranged slightly off a straight line, just like those in Egypt, where they reckon they align to Orion's belt. Not that these do, but I mean, it's very similar. You know, these three next to one another. And this one here in the middle is 4.5 kilometers in length at the base. And then this one to the left looks a lot like a pyramid we already know. So let me show you that one.
that's
So
the
there it is.
D&M. Yeah.
Yes, it's like this five-sided pyramid. And this one's got similar geometry and symmetry to it. But yeah, that's just
Would you
observation. I don't
say that
know.
would you say that these pyramids have collapsed and this is why they look so sunken and
Yes, yes. I think, yeah, because the pyramid isn't solid. It's got chambers and things in it.
yeah.
And there's this pyramid in Egypt. I think it's called the Black Pyramid. And near that pyramid that slants like this, what do they call that one?
Oh, the bent pyramid?
Bent pyramid, yes. And it's totally collapsed in on itself.
Yeah.
So, yes, that I think that could have happened, yes.
Okay. Wow. That's
And then
amazing.
there's this. George Haas actually came back to me and he said he had to look at this and he found something similar here on Earth. This thing measures about 30 by 30 meters in size, the outer wall.
Well, that's a specific kind of a ruin. It looks like it's got a protective wall around it.
Yes, like the one in Peru, the Chanquillo structure here on Earth. It's got the outer walls and then these strange circular structures inside. So it was George that actually pointed this out to me.
Did George Haas discover this ruin?
No, no, I did.
Oh, you
But when
found
he
this one.
checked this on my YouTube channel, he immediately connected it to this that he was aware of here on Earth.
I mean, this is an obvious archaeological area here. This is specific ruins here that we're looking at.
Yes, if you look at the bigger picture, there's nothing else like it. I always say these things stick out like sore fingers.
Yeah.
Needle in
Gene, I want to
haystack.
ask you a quick question. You're an imaging guy. 20 years ago, when I started looking at this, probably more than 20 years ago, it was obvious that NASA was using Photoshop to cover things up with very poor patches and things like that. Do you still see that going on where areas of images are being patched and covered?
I don't know if they're patching or covering the areas, but there are black strips. Every once in a while that you'd see in a photograph. You'd see it in the rover photographs, and then in the high-rise photographs, you get these black strips running.
Is that black strip covering an area that they don't want to look at, or what? What is this?
I
What's
don't know. I don't know.
okay?
They say it's due to data loss,
Yeah,
but
right.
it could very well be covering something up.
Yeah. I mean, they've been imaging that planet Mars for decades. They probably have every square inch of it covered by now.
Oh, yes, and so do the Europeans,
Yeah. European
as
Space.
far as I'm concerned, yeah, with the Mars Express and all those other orbiters of theirs. And then there's this
Wow.
geometric pattern in the ground. So this is unlike the six-sided or hexagonal depressions that the Thunderbolts project proposes was caused by plasma discharges. This thing has got these rectangular, almost like a cross,
Yeah.
featured, and it's about 50 meters wide.
Was
So
there
I
something?
think this could be a foundation.
Oh, so if it could be a found because it looks sunken to me.
Yeah, it looks like a wall, a very old foundation wall, highly eroded, obviously, and totally destroyed. But it's not a circular impact crater. It's not a plasma discharge. This is symmetry and geometry. And Carl
Where
Sagan,
is Zephyria?
Zephyr, oh, I don't know. I don't have that information at
Okay,
hand.
because
There's
that's
so
a
many discoveries. This would be in the northern mid latitudes, I think.
okay.
I can't remember. Sorry, man.
It's okay. No, it's a cool looking
But
photograph. I've this is a great discovery. It's
yeah,
definitely artificial.
Carl Sagan once said that if you're looking at signs of intelligent life, look at the uniformity, geometry, and symmetry of their structures. So we can infer that if we see that on Mars, why
Right.
can't it also be applied? That there's intelligence behind this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my opinion. All right, and then this thing, it's huge. It's difficult to make out because it's a top view, top-down view. But it looks like a rectangular structure with a collapsed roof. And it's got these huge blocks or tiles on it, or slabs, each about 8 meters in length. And then it's got these rectangular openings on the one side, spaced evenly apart, and these look like columns. So it's about 20 meters tall. It reminds me of those Greek ancient structures with the
Okay.
long pillars. To me, it looks like that, something like that.
Right.
And then we get to the megaliths. So let's have a look at those. There you can see two long ones, about the same size, and then two smaller ones next to each.
Do you think
So
that
that
there was
is,
some kind of a surface tsunami with water that knocked these down? This is what we're looking
yeah, yes, yes. So these could have been standing upright, straight up, and then due to a lot of water and mud, they could have sank and tilted over and fallen over,
at. Wow.
like a wall would do here on Earth. So I'm speculating we're looking at a possible wall that ran through here, covered in sand.
Yeah.
So these long ones are about 8 meters in length. So you can imagine if you go stand on this thing, how huge it's going to be. And then in the same area, in the same photograph, there's these. And they've got these protrusions or knobs on them,
Those
like
are
at
actual
five.
knobs that are part of the actual stonework, I guess.
I don't know. Look at this long one here with that one there.
Right.
And then this strange circular feature here. So these, okay, the long one is about 8 meters long. So these are 4 to 5 meters in length. So they're also huge. And they remind me of these megalithic blocks in South America with these knobs or protrusions on them.
Right.
So there's another similarity. Coincidence? I don't know. But in my opinion, we're looking at similar structures. And then this one, it's about 12 meters across.
Yeah, you do
Looks
a whole
like,
series of these knob stones on your YouTube channel. It's just
that's
weird.
right.
There's a whole area of
Yes.
those. Yeah.
And you'll find on a lot of blocks, megalithic blocks on Mars, there'd be a knob or protrusion in its center or just off center, or it would be a depiction of a triangle like we see there, or like a T, got three and then two. So it looks like a T. So it's these, and then you get three in a row as well. Yeah, we're looking at possibly a molded megalithic block. If you look at this one just above that guy,
Yeah.
it's got the same sort of shape to it. Coincidence? Don't know. But that smaller block fits in there.
Yeah.
It just moved away. And if they connected together, we've got a triangle depicted there. I don't know if that is significant. Is it pointing to a constellation?
Yeah.
I speculate it could be pointing to, if it is a triangle and it is astrological, I think it's pointing to the, what's it called? The Summa triangle asterism.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
The Neb, Altair, and the other planet's name, star, I can't remember now. But it's part of this Cygnus star system constellation,
Okay.
where there's also like a T depicted,
Hmm.
and then it's part of the triangle. So yeah, that's just a hypothesis of mine, that this could be pointing to the Summa
So
triangle
you're maybe
asterism.
thinking it's kind of like a standing monolith that has observational features to it,
I
like
don't
like a
know.
Stonehenge or some kind.
Yes, possibly. We've found Stonehenges on Mars. It's a pity I
Yeah.
haven't included one here, but there's about four that we found on Mars so far.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. Well, if you want to, I can open up my blog and show it to you just
If you
now.
got one that's clearly reminiscent of Stonehenge, I'd love to see it. I think our audience
Okay,
would
we can
too.
have a look at that in a moment as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get to structure type of anomalies photographed by the rovers. This was a photograph taken by the Curiosity rover many years ago that shows layers of potential concrete and this metal rebar type of design. Get those crosses or X's inside here. Like we'd build bridges and things with these
Yeah.
braces in.
Yeah.
And then this ornate ironwork. Check
Yeah.
out that smooth, almost sheet metal type of part to it as well. There's a piece of it here to the left. But this, look at the uniformity and the thickness of
Yeah.
these layers. And it looks like ironwork inside it. And then the doorway or entranceway, not that it is, but it looks like one
No, you
that we
discovered that
found.
door, didn't you?
Me and Joe from Art Alien TV discovered it at the same time and basically posted about it on the same day as well. So yes, this is about, they speculate about a meter, just
Hmm.
less than a meter tall. But I want you to note the strange sort of plaster look to it. It's cracked as well. Like we'd find here on Earth,
Yeah.
lots of these entranceways are built into the sides of mounds and mesas and things. It's similar to this. It's a huge hill with this little door cut into the side. And it reminds me of this entranceway. Is it Uki or how do you pronounce that name?
I don't, is that Egypt or in
Yes, Egypt.
Sumer?
No, this is, I think
Uki.
it's Uki, yeah, the tomb of Uki. There's that one
Oh,
up.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Also note the similarity. This is a slope, there's a slope, and it's got these strange columns and this cement or plaster type of appearance. Coincidence? Maybe.
Pretty
And it
geometrically
looks as if that
square.
there
Yeah.
might be the door. Who
Hmm.
knows? And then this strange cavern in the middle of nowhere. This is a huge photograph, and right in the middle of it is this strange anomaly. And the opening, the dark part, there's about 30 meters across. And it's got this strange web-like bracing, covering the opening. Some have speculated this could be some type of growth covering this, or it could be a combination of the strange growth and metal bracing, those rods, those long
Oh, right. Some
rods.
superstructure of some kind.
Yeah, but all the other circular depressions around here don't have anything covering them like this thing does. And this one's hollow inside. It's actually dark.
Hmm.
Whereas the normal depressions in this photograph, I've got this shallow sand in each of them. That's why this, in my opinion, is an anomaly.
Yeah.
And then this, if you'd go through a JP2 photograph, you'll see boulders and rocks and boulders and rocks. And I think NASA leaves these in there because they don't think anyone will spend time combing through these things for like hours on end to find things like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this thing's about 16 meters in length. I don't know if it's a boat. I don't know if it's a conning tower of a buried submarine.
It's
I
very
don't know if it's
anomalous. It's very
is it
anomalous. Whatever.
is it an outpost? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't look like a typical rock or boulder that you see around this.
Right.
It's got some structure to it. There's grid at the back of like vents. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Right, then we get to, remember Buzz Aldrin once spoke about the monolith on Phobos.
Phobos is the one of two moons on Mars. Phobos 1,
Yeah,
Phobos 2. Yeah, Bud, is it Bud Aldridge? Who was the one that commented on the megalith, on the monolith?
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin, yeah. What did he
Yes. So
say?
there, he says, we've got to get to Phobos. There's a monolith there. And then NASA actually photographed it. There it is. And it's about 20 meters wide. And if you analyze the photographs of Phobos, you don't find anything else like this. It's just covered in sand, whatever this is, regolith. And then this thing sticks out there like a sore finger. So how did he know it was there?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's very intriguing. And then this. Also, again, it doesn't look like a typical rock or boulder. And when you zoom in on it, it's got like a machine type of look to it, or part
Hmm.
of a machine or technology, like piping and open on the ends, like sheet metal. It's about 12 meters in length. So is this remnants of ancient technology on Mars, or is it wreckage from a failed Mars mission?
Weird.
But that there looks like technology to me.
Yeah.
And then this part, again, you just see boulders and rocks and boulders and rocks until you zoom in on this part. It's about 12
That's
meters in
kind of
length
strange
as well.
looking. Yeah.
It looks like an oblong head
Yeah.
with a nose sticking out here and the chin, maybe the mouth. Pareidolia, perhaps, but it's very symmetrical.
It's easy to get pareidolia thinking things are what they appear to be, but they may
Yes.
not be.
But even if it isn't
Pretty
sculpture of
weird.
a
It's a
head,
pretty anomalous
it
image.
could be some type of wreckage or
Yeah.
part of an old machine. I watched Brian's documentary, Blue Planet Red, and one of the researchers commented about what metal would look like if it was exposed to CO2 for a very long time. And the erosion that takes place on metal under those conditions is very random, and it doesn't follow any sort of patterns, you know, it's very random. So this could be metal that was exposed to CO2 on Mars for a very long time. And that's why there's a piece missing here. We don't know. But yeah, that's also very interesting.
Yep.
And then this, it's on a ridge of these really strange dunes that look like vines or roots, but that there, I compare it to the Jupiter 2, us and other researchers.
It's either a ship
Compared,
or it's an observational
they're correct. That's what I
platform.
think
Yeah.
as well. It could be an observation platform with these
Yeah.
huge windows in it, because there's nothing else like it in this photograph, and it looks metallic.
It does.
And it's huge. It's 110 meters across. Could this be one of the solar warden craft? Who knows?
Hard to say.
Okay, let's have a look at that. What was it? The Stonehenges. Let's see. In Stonehenge like anomalies on Mars.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Amazing.
Where's this? This is in Uh, Nistrolus, Nilocertus mensae.
Minsay, yeah.
The other one, where was this? They call it the eye of the beholder. The third one was in Kanowski. Okay, so
It's funny
this
how
is
these are
in
they're up on
a mound.
a ridge or a
It's on
mound,
a
excuse
mound.
me. They're on a mound, yes.
Yeah, people reckon that's a depression and they inside the depression that's the meteorite that broke. But this is actually a mound. In the other one, there you can see part of it.
Yeah.
The rest is covered in sand. Look at the smaller version. And then the one in Kanowski.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Wow.
that could be. They look like they're huge stones.
Yeah, in a circular shape.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
like Stonehenge, destroyed as well.
Yeah. Amazing. These are fantastic images, and you have done a couple of different presentations that feature Three Eye Atlas, and this has been in the news. We had Dr. Avi Loeb on the program a couple of times talking about what many astronomers figure is just a meteor flying in the air, but
Hmm.
you're showing some very unique images, especially of the photos that were taken by the rover. Can you show us a
Yes.
couple of those? Because the one shot is a cylindrical tube-like image. Beautiful.
Okay. So this is two days after Three Atlas passed Mars. That's where it was at the time. Way past Mars. These things were photographed by the left and right navigation cameras. Check there. People reckon this is Phobos that was photographed, but because of long exposure time, it made that long cigar-like shape. But look at conventional magnification to the right compared to the gigapixel upscale. You'll see there's these lines on it, spaced evenly apart. And that's what it looks like when it's upscaled. That doesn't look like a moon that's been photographed in a long exposure. Look at those openings or huge windows. There's the
Wow.
original. People say that could be Phobos.
That doesn't look
But I
like it doesn't look like a typical meteorite.
No, this isn't 3 Hour Atlas. No, that is way too far for the rovers to have actually been able to photograph it. But what they did photograph was this is the other camera that took a photograph of the same object at the same time on the same day.
Hmm.
That's what it looks like. So this isn't 3 Eye Atlas that you see. This was a potential probe
Oh,
that
this is
was
a
dropped.
probe that people think came out of Three Eye Atlas.
Yes, yes. Because Avi Loeb proposes that if it is an artificial object like a mothership, it's dropping off drones. Maybe. So this could be one of those. But at the same time as what those things were photographed, the mast cam on the Perseverance rover took a series of 24 photographs. And this is what shows up there. There's that object that you see moving there, and very faint behind it is another one that's following it. You won't be able to see it, it's a bit faint. I'll show you a better animation. And then there's a third one somewhere. I can't remember where it is now.
So are these all the same dimensions as this Three Eye Atlas?
No, these are small objects.
Smaller objects, okay.
That I speculate are part of this 3i Atlas anomaly. It's got lots of smaller parts to it, accompanying objects.
Ah, okay.
So let me show you the other animation that was taken on the 4th. This was on the 5th.
Of this month,
So
October.
yes, so this was 2 days after. This was a day after. Now what happened was this thing also showed up
Hmm.
near the Perseverance rover. And that's what it looks like close up. And now let's have a look at the same time as what the nav cams photographed, that strange cigar-shaped thing, the mast cam took 20 photographs that show an animation of about 9 objects. Maybe I should go to the black and white. Yeah, you can see them. Can you see those lines
Yeah, I saw them
moving?
on both of them. You can see it's the only thing moving.
Right, so there, yeah, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, So this isn't the moon of Mars. There's 9 objects that were photographed in this frame.
Gene, you're taking photos of UAPs, buddy. That's what that is. You got UAPs you're capturing with that rover camera.
So is this debris of the comet that's coming past Mars, or are these possibly drones or probes that were deployed?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the latest I have on that. So this is the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter High-Rise website. So this is where I download these massive photographs. And
Wow.
no, since the 1st of October, the site has not been updated. So NASA's either withholding the photographs and the data, or it could be because of the financial lockdown, who
So
knows?
you're thinking that the federal government shutdown is affecting their release of new photos?
No. Why would, even if it's state-owned, wouldn't you have a bank account with capital in it to pay your staff?
I don't
Or do you
know.
need to be so
Yeah.
dependent on the federal government that you get the daily money from these guys? Don't you have a budget?
Well, the thing
How
is
can
that
this
there is,
lock be
yeah.
affecting NASA? I don't get it.
Well, there could be a budget, but also one of the things that the Trump administration is doing is cutting out frivolous spending, and a high rise might be frivolous spending. We don't know what the
Oh, yes, of course. It's a perfect cop-out. It's a cop-out. If
yeah.
that's the excuse they're using, I think it's just buying time to analyze these photographs and to prepare a narrative. How are we
Oh,
going to present this to the public? What are we going to show them? What are we going to tell them this is?
so you're saying that the high rise may have captured some compromising images of the I3, a 3I Atlas.
Potentially, potentially. Look, because they're so quiet and the lack of feedback and commentary, they're leaving it up to us now to speculate what the hell's going on.
Which is kind of sad. We pay billions of dollars to NASA. I think the rovers are useless, except this is the first time I've seen some very nice images of the sky and potential UAPs. But I always joked, and you might find this hilarious, Gene, that in my thinking, you have the rover bumping into stairways, bumping into columns of temples and everything, but they're turning the camera away to look for microbes. They want to find microbes, and that there was one. That's how ass
Yes.
backwards NASA is.
And they have already. If you look at the evidence that Brian features these anomalies in his documentary as well, they found fossils, microbial life,
Yeah,
desert varnish. All these things are related to microbial life.
yeah.
They show a photograph of this strange little creature. I can't remember what it's called now. It looks like a worm. But you find them here on Earth too, in the oceans. They found one on Mars. And instead of taking multiple photographs of it under different lighting conditions and angles to make sure what this is, they took that scuffing drill bit and drilled it out of the rock. And that to me is like destroying evidence.
Well, they are complicit in this huge cover up. JPL, NASA, JPL's out here in California, and they're the ones who are
Mm.
working the rovers. But I they're running into anomalies of damaged machinery, temples, megaliths, like you're showing, and they're not sending any of that back to anybody. That's all being covered up. They can't. And I've always said that if they ever it's revealed that they are covering up, they should all be fired. The administration should be fired for not revealing it. But yeah,
Yes, there's one of those funny worm-like things that the rover, the sand moved away after it drove through the sandy patch and it revealed that funny thing.
yeah.
But I want to show you, where is it? Where is it? Where's it? Liquid water. These are the categories, sorry. There's Gary McKinnon talking about his hacking of the
Thanks for
NASA.
showing us your website. I'm definitely going to go back and look at that. I didn't know you had such a resource in your website. You have tons of archives.
Oh no, this isn't it. I can't remember where that photograph is of the microbe, but it was discovered in a meteorite here on Earth, a
Yeah.
Mars microbe. There's a lot of evidence of that. And then let me show you varnish. And this is found recently. I mean, this was on the 20th of September 2025. There's the photograph from the Sherlock camera, and there's the desert varnish. But they won't say it is. They won't say it's desert varnish.
Is it a patina where the heat of something?
No, it's a life form that you find that grows on the surface of rocks in a desert.
Oh, okay.
It's a form of microbial life. Yeah, they've
Oh,
inscribed
interesting.
symbols on it. This is a site in the Valley of Fire near Las Vegas.
I
But this
understand.
stuff is there on Mars. Look at that.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
It shows the same layering, the same cracking away at the
Yeah.
edges.
Hey, well, Gene, this has been amazing. I want to thank you for showing us this resource. What do you think? I mean, as a researcher and investigator, what would you like to see in the next 5 or 6 years in terms of imagery? I mean, they're only going to release so much, but
In terms of imagery, well, the same as what we see now, because these anomalies are released to the public in
yeah.
publicly available photographs, but with commentary from them, where they're speculating. Listen, this could be a structure. You know, the only scientist I know, or maybe two, Dr. John Brandenburg and Avi Loeb, those are basically the only two guys that I know of that actually speculate.
And they're
Other
all,
scientists and
and the other,
researchers
yeah.
don't speculate anymore.
They don't
So
want to talk these other scientists that are at JPL because they will be humiliated, laughed at, or is it kind of like kept secret and this is not you're not supposed to talk about it because, you
secret
know,
knowledge.
yeah,
Secret knowledge is power. Occultic. It's very the occult. Got
yeah.
this faction in the occult that likes secret knowledge. They keep it to themselves because it's powerful.
Hmm.
Maybe it's that. I don't know. But I would like to see the truth, transparency from NASA.
Yeah.
And the other space agencies too. I mean, if they've found something, tell us, yes, this is what it is. Don't say, we need more evidence, we need more evidence. Like the Viking landers, they found traces of life in the 70s, but they won't say it is because they say it's inconclusive. But
Right.
according to the guy that designed the experiment, he says it was conclusive. I just
Uh,
want them to be truthful and honest. And
yeah,
Ellen Stofan,
yeah.
sorry, Cliff, carry
We
on.
we didn't even talk about Cydonia, which is pretty black and white with the face on Mars and with the other buildings, the fort, the D&M pyramid, and that's obviously was a civic area where people met, and it's but we don't talk about that anymore. It's almost secondary to what. So excuse me for interrupting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, sure, sure. Cliff, yeah, as I was saying, Ellen Stofan, the NASA chief scientist at the time, when I saw the Ancient Aliens episode on the History Channel, she actually said, within the next 5 to 10 years, we will have a definitive, hang on, I don't want to misquote her, quickly just see, I'm not sharing, eh? Ellen Stofan, where is she? She actually said something very important. Where is it now? Sorry, Cliff.
An ex-NASA employee or something? Who did she work for?
No, well, I think, look, at the time, she was, when was this? 2017, on Ancient Aliens, Majestic 12, the episode was called. She said, I think we are going to have strong indicators. No, let me start again. I think we are going to have strong indications of life beyond Earth within a decade, and I think we are going to have definitive evidence within 20 to 30 years. Doesn't that sound like they know it already?
Well, they're going to have to reveal it because they're going to be the Chinese are going to put a rover on Mars and they're going to be humiliated. So, Gene, this has been fantastic. I want to thank you for spending the time with my audience here at Earth Ancients, and I really appreciate your hard work. You're one of the top imaging guys out there, and I really appreciate you joining us for it's been over an hour now. For those of you listening, go to Gene Ward's website. It's Gene Ward on YouTube. Also, YouTube channel is excellent. I'm sorry, you put up a new video every 2 weeks or what?
Every 2 to 3 days, I put up a YouTube video. Then I also have my megalithicmars.com blog. I
Okay,
blog there every 2 to 3 days. Everything you see on my YouTube channel, you also see on my blog. All the images are on my blog as well. So if you
fantastic.
don't like to watch videos, you can go and check those images on my blog, megalithicmars.com, on YouTube, youtube.com/JeanWard, and on X, Jean Ward Mars.
Fantastic. Gene, what
That's
a
my
pleasure,
handle.
my friend. Thank you very
It's been
much.
delightful. I enjoy talking about this subject. I can't believe it's an hour and a half later. It was nice.
We'll have you
Thanks,
on
Cliff. I
again.
enjoyed this.
Cheers.
We must. Take care, Cliff.